A happy and very soulsy Friday to y'all.
It's 8 a.m. on the East Coast and 5 a.m. on the West Coast. And I apologize to all listening this morning if you're hearing a little extra ambient noise on my end of the mic. It's because, as I was telling Drew, for many people, the world is on fire. But for us in California here, it's also literally on fire. So we don't have the best air quality right now. And I have a family of 6 in my home. So I want to make sure that we're doing what we can.
Yeah, 2020 does in general seem like the year all the metaphors became literal. Okay, it looks like we're live on the YouTube and the Twitch. You can you can tell we are professional streamers because we call it the Twitch. I think we are ready to do some souls. So the bonfire we are at here in the Ringed City is the Ringed Inner Wall.
That's where I went.
Good, good.
So the original hope for the end of this playthrough was to get our dear friend Adam, who was on before, who I guess the most generous way of looking at it would be to say that he dislikes this game, or at least dislikes a lot of premises of the game.
He was disappointed by this game.
Yeah, I mean, disappointed means dislike, right? I mean,
yeah, no, I mean, I would say he dislikes this game. I don't think that's too extreme. You're such a dad right now, and I love it. Can we really say we dislike it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a strong word. So we had wanted to get him at the tail end to keep having a discussion about what worked and didn't work. And I don't know that we would have necessarily covered new ground, but I mean, as we've mentioned in the previous streams, like this is sort of the area where all of the themes of like cycles and maybe the more what's the word? The more surface level theme of like redundancy comes to play.
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, like, that's the. I mean, Dark Souls 2 has this too as well, and Dark Souls 3 has it 3 as sure, but it's like there. To what to what degree are we dealing in motifs of repetition, and to what degree are we recycling ideas? And is part of the cleverness that those are not necessarily different things in the context of the series? And to what degree is it simply that? I mean, that's the thing, right? Like the games literally become about being trapped in the cycle of Dark Souls, which the devs were in a sense. So it's like, I don't know, it becomes very hard to unpick the text from the meta text in that sense. I mean, this may or may not be the final episode of this playthrough.
I doubt that it will be, but we will see how things shape up by the time we get to the final boss.
Yes. But I guess, that too has a meta layer, because this may or may not be the last area of Dark Souls.
Exactly. Alright.
There's my blob. Yeah, we got invaded right about here last time. Ooh, I got jumped upon and stabinated.
Very disrespectful.
There ought to be a law. There ought to be a law.
There are no laws at the end of the world, my friend. Keep hitting him. There we go.
On the most recent podcast episode, I actually talked to Neil Stenikin about this. There are kinda the idea of like all against all lone cowboy nonsense is not really how survival works, right? Like survival is like building a water purifier with your neighbor and growing beans. It's not filling a bunker with canned beans and handguns.
Yeah, we've. I mean, 2020 might be the year that this gets tested, but so far, I don't think anyone has actually had to go into a bunker alone and then emerge.
I mean,
so,
plenty of people have. Whether they've had to is a separate question.
I guess that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like, but to your point, I think, yeah, there. The idea of cooperation is very understated in media. We kind of like to imagine that not only will society fall, but our our own, I'm trying to think of the right word, I guess, like our own moral imperative will just crumble as well.
Right, right. Yeah, well, because on some not especially healthy level, we like thinking about that. It's fun to imagine not having to obey the rules, and we like to imagine that we'd be really good at it. And I guess in a broader sense, everyone likes to not just think of life as a story, but think of themselves as the protagonist.
Yeah,
Which, like,
we had that conversation once, which was kind of interesting, where I had mentioned to you that, like, especially growing up, because I am a person of color and you are not, and there was this way in which we showed up in the world. Anyway, long story short, I think I had mentioned to you that there were oftentimes I felt, and this was true even in the Bay Area with a different group of friends, that like I wasn't the main character in my own story. And you looked over to your wife, who was also a non-white person of color, and said, "Hey, Lucio just said this thing. What do you think?" And she kind of like nodded vigorously.
yeah, and I know, because
So,
like I that genuinely hadn't occurred to me. Right? It's not like I couldn't understand. I just like that the default for me absolutely was that I'm the protag. If not if not the author insert character. Oh boy. Oh, I got murdered.
I mean, yeah, I watched that happen.
I zigged when what I ought was to have zagged.
So yeah, as the final area, it's going to be a little more challenging here.
Yeah, it's not so easy, unlike the rest of the game, which is famously a breeze.
Well, I like that. Yeah, one of the bosses in this particular area sort of became the de facto hardest boss in the game, when before it had been the Nameless King, who we saw in our previous installation.
You're talking Madir, who we will probably skip in this playthrough for time.
That's why I'm mentioning him. Yeah, I was going to say who we probably will not see, just because he nets you some interesting items from his bossel, but I mean, he's kind of interesting from a lore perspective, but it's interesting. As much as I liked Madir, he probably, to Adam's point, is the most retreaded. the character who retreads the most ground, because he's like all things at once, right? He's a everlasting dragon who is consumed by the abyss, who failed, maybe not failed, but who is still upholding his final duty.
There's a turducken quality to Madir.
Yeah, exactly. You and Lauren were rewatching Avatar, and I realized you got to enjoy one of my favorite moments of that series, which is when they get to Ba Sing Se and see the bear.
Yeah. No, just a bear. This place is weird. Yeah. Yeah, because of course the hybrid animals, for those who shamefully have not seen the series, are a delight. Platypus bears and turtle ducks and all sorts of things. So when they meet just a bare ass bear, it's a wonderful little subversion.
Although oddly enough, I guess hockey was just a hawk. But there didn't seem to be any fanfare about that.
That hadn't occurred to me. Yeah, that's interesting.
Unless there was something about hockey that I missed, and his name was just Hockey. Maybe it was like an insect hawk. I don't know. He had like a long little thing on top of his head, right?
He was a bee hawk.
See, I'm trying to. It's been a minute too since we streamed, so I'm trying to remember what we did and didn't cover about the Ring of Cities so far, and kind of what it represents to the lore at large.
Well, maybe, I mean, since it, like you said, it hasn't necessarily been a minute if someone is binging this series while working or eating soup, in which case, hello and thank you. But maybe, nonetheless, it would be good if you just gave like a quick overview. Like, what is the Ring City?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. In a nutshell, I mean, this is kind of where we've learned the furtive pygmy and his or hers like offspring, or progeny, have kind of settled. Like There's even a line, I think, in the opening cutscene of Dark Souls 1, so easily forgot, the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten.
That's kind of all we
And
hear about the furtive pygmy for sort of a long time, actually.
yeah, exactly. I don't think the furtive pygmy is even mentioned, at least in what I've played so far of Dark Souls 2.
That's a good question. I don't think so. And there's really not a whole lot of explicit stuff in Dark Souls 1, it should be said, you know.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Yeah, it's
if you dig into item descriptions, you can divine that the Dark Soul of the title is the one the furtive pygmy found, and that's where humans came from.
Right.
But there, you know, it's not a person you meet, it's not a boss, nothing like that.
And so what I was going to say, yeah, so yeah, in a nutshell, this is kind of where a lot of those questions get answered. But then, you know, to Adam's point, it kind of, like, did anyone ask those questions? Did we need to have them?
Well, those are two very different questions, because I mean, if there is a question, somebody out there wants an answer. They want a canon answer, right? Like that's.
I mean, that's a good point.
I don't, because I treasure the unknown, and so on. But somebody wants that. Somebody wants a furtive pygmy Funko Pop.
But they all look the same.
That's why he's so easily forgotten. So when you say the furtive pygmy's progeny settled here, aren't we the furtive pygmy's progeny?
We are. So I guess I should say oh god, I missed. I should say an offshoot, right? Like
like the royal family,
humanity,
such as it is.
I mean, yeah, whatever that means for the furtive pygmy and humanity, like, because when we, as we'll see, when we, cannot stab these guys today. When we get to where we're going, we will see that there is in fact a sort of like throne kind of setup. God, these guys suck. If you can kite him back over here.
Yeah, I'll do that. Oh, but I might get hit by a giant sword. No, I'm good. These tumbling tumbleweeds, I tell you what.
Wait, oh, they're stacked. I don't know. Oh, okay, I got one. Perfect.
They're stacked, all right.
When you get to the ring city, it seems like, yeah, there's a part of humanity that was like kind of kept on a short leash by Gwyn. That seems to be the implication of everything that we see here in this place.
Which makes it very dark that this is where Gwyn ended up being God with a capital G, as far as everybody was concerned, or as far as the state religion was concerned. Anyway, maybe not everybody.
Watch out, because those guys curse. I don't know if he's already dead.
Good call. Don't cry for me. I'm already cursed. I'm not actually.
So for anyone just joining or who's, I don't know, like I said, I don't know to what detail we went in. Yeah, this area is directly linked to the furtive pygmy, and as you can see, to darkness in the abyss, and it kind of plays into what Yuri of Londor is talking about, like, and you know, humanity's true form and how closely linked that is to darkness and being hollow. And so we're just kind of now exploring it. The Herald Knights in particular, I'm a little unsure of kind of what their deal is, as far as like they're missing their heads. That's, you know, Abyss encroaching on them, not unlike Artorias from the first game.
Also, we should say an image from Lothric. There's always throughout Lothric, there's those knights, the statues of the knights severing their own heads, like as an act of duty. Yeah.
Not just that, but also we encountered a couple of Lothric knights that have those sort of like those vines growing, and I don't know if that's a direct relation to like the arch trees and the overgrownness of this place.
yeah. Well, and again, you were talking about how Midir is.
So we might want to just go past these guys. I don't know if we want to deal them on the stairs, because the bonfire is also ahead.
Your call.
Oh boy, totally converged on me.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna pop an Estus and follow you with great expeditiousness. So.
Gusto.
Con gusto. Again, we were talking about how Midir is all of the tropes at once. These guys are kind of the same, because also, like, the, you know, thinking about it, the abyssal, the void or the empty space where a face should be, to me, is most associated in these games with the giants. You know.
I hadn't thought of that.
Now, I don't know that we're supposed to have that association.
But that was more of a Dark Souls 2 thing too, right? Where
True,
they
but
just
I
have these
mean,
holes.
yeah, I mean, but Yorm is like that. I mean, he's wearing a hood, so it's less explicit. You don't see his face in full view and see that it's a hole, which is a very weird thing about the giant design in Dark Souls 2. It's more tasteful in this one, but the same idea is in play. And I always, especially in 2, I always took that as like, hooray, like a sort of very on the nose othering, because the giants, as you're currently learning in our Dark Souls 2 playthrough, were the other that Vendrick and Nishandra made war on. So the fact that like we literally can't see their eyes, their face, their humanity, like how much is that the way they really look, and how much is it just like that's how we see them? They're unknowable, right? Is the idea.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, to that end. I think that's kind of a little in a nutshell. Like that's what this is as far as these guys, the locusts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. I feel like we had just actually talked about their relation to the sort of like aesthetics of humanity and kind of what they are, like sort of like a primordial thing. I'm trying to remember. Whoa, there's 2 of these guys again.
But yeah, bug-like bodily forms are complicated in Souls, right? They don't necessarily always indicate one thing. Like they're always supposed to be freaky. Whoa, I forgot about
Grabbed.
that move. Yeah. Well, I mean, stabbed with 2 incorporeal sticks.
Oh, I got 2. So I think I'm dead.
Don't be dead.
So you'll have to come back and get me.
Okay. I am going back to the bonfire.
Bonfire.
So yeah, the locust folks, or focusts, if you will. What is their deal?
So that's what I'm trying to remember, like what we did or didn't cover last time. I'm trying to remember specifically like what we were talking about that they tied into.
Well, I mean, thinking about.
So much of the lore of this game is taken from items. I'm trying to. There's an item I have.
There is an item where you get their little ethereal branch attack, right?
Yeah, there's that, and there's also their face, which you just wear.
Oh yeah, Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, that would be the main reason.
Yeah, on my main, I would have all of these items, but I don't have them all in this playthrough because we've been a bit more selective.
Exactly. So I'm trying to remember what the dilly be with these guys. But they specifically talk about not fearing the dark, which I think it'd be a bit of a stretch to say that they that there's all this talk about what humanity's true form is. I think it'd be a stretch to say that's it. They definitely lean more towards sorcery. But
yeah.
I don't know that there's that much of a connection you could make.
Well, just thinking about just thinking about imagery of hold on, my wife is leaving the house and I'm gonna kiss her real quick.
Oh.
Love you. Oh, okay. I was doing marriage stuff. Okay, back to soul stuff then. She ate a donut and then kissed me, so I got to taste the donut too. Anyway, marriage.
Donut.
Twere a maple donut.
Ooh, yummy.
An old-fashioned with some maple frosting. This is not a paid promotion for Allie's Donuts in Rhode Island, but it's real good.
But it ain't not that either.
Look, they didn't pay me to say this. I'm just saying, they're good donuts, Jim.
Oh. This guy's glitching out over here for me. I don't know how much they'll follow us, though, so I kind of want to... Well, let's run away from him and see what he does.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I was thinking about images of humans becoming bug-like-ier from the earlier games, and I mean, like, the first thing that springs to mind, which is not quite the same thing, but probably related, is the egg cultists from Dark Souls 1. If you become a devotee of of Quelaag's sister, you meet Engi, who has this gross egg sack on his back, He's like in a vestigial form of a human who's going to become spidery, you know? So the image has to do with like obsession or devotion, I think. And like that's probably related here if this is where Gwyn is capital G God, right? Like one of the, and I guess I didn't have to reach that far. There's the grubs in this game, right?
Yeah.
There is this idea. It's a very like Miyazaki idea about religion, or really just like a Japanese RPG idea about religion, that if you're too devoted, you lose something and you become monstrous, or like you take a form that has more to do with what you're devoted to than with your own will, kind of thing.
Right.
Oh, the white birch branch. I think that's what lets you use their little move.
Which
oh no,
move?
never mind. There's a branch item that lets you do their little like ethereal branch thing, but I think the white birch branch is just what you give the giant, right?
He gives it to you. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm grabbing items quick. I should shut my mouth.
It's what lets you turn into like something from your surroundings, and in this area, it
Young
turns you
white bird,
into
yeah.
qu'est-ce que c'est? Turns you into a humanity sprite.
That's right.
So these guys don't bother us unless we go in their little church. So you might want to just not worry about that. I don't think you need whatever's in there. For me, it didn't even show up, so I don't know if you're seeing a shining item in there.
I am, yeah. I mean, whatever.
Oh, you've done it.
Oh. Church Guardian Shiv.
So that's interesting placement.
So who are the Church Guardians? I mean, like, if we're playing through this sort of naturally, we don't quite know that yet, right? But we're about to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be up for questioning. And I mean, these guys were not hostile until you took that item.
Right.
So.
Well, these are pilgrims. We've established that this is like one of the forms, not the final form. This isn't even their final form, but they are. So this establishes, I suppose, that their religion, the religion that they are making pilgrimage for, is the same religion of the church that the Church Guardians are gardening.
Yes. So off in the distance, I don't know if you can see, that's the Dragon Knight armor. Or Dragon Slayer armor, I should say. We don't need to fight it. Again, like, this is sort of just within the parameters of what you want this playthrough to be. There's just items over there. So
I mean, if you think the boss is super interesting, that would be, hey, chill out, dogs. Sorry, we got some dogs being dumb. Don't be dumb. Stop being dumb. You're fine. If you think the boss is very interesting from a story perspective, that'd be the reason to do it on this playthrough.
yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. I did find it interesting the Dragon Slayer armor is here.
Yeah.
That seems, I mean,
Yep. I'm going to need to... Sorry, gotta disappear for a sec. FedEx is here, so this is impossible. 10 seconds. The good news is my SSD is here. The bad news is we blew out the mic with barking. I'm back. Anyway, yeah, so what were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying, like, no, I mean, we can make the same observations from a distance. Like, we don't have to fight him. But I was going to say, like, he's taken out Havel Knights, and it makes me wonder if the Dragon Slayer armor we fought is, again, because time is convoluted here in the Ringed City, if that is, in fact, the same Dragon Slayer armor, or if that's... or if it's more of like they're actually some form of like knighthood, I guess. Yeah,
the further we get in here, the more I realize that part of why I didn't remember any of this was like I think this is like a result of me playing video games, watching movies, whatever, but not especially reading comic books when I was younger. But
are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Let's just follow. Again, I don't think there's anything here you need. So
okay, I'm gonna hold that thought then.
No, I mean, you can keep talking. I just meant.
Sure. You just wanted to make sure we were. Yes. Made sure it was on you. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I was saying like, so you read a lot more comics than I do. I think you still read a lot more comics than I do. But my point was just,
it's
I
more
have,
of a
yeah,
keeping up at this point.
I have this weird impatience with multiverse stories. Like that trope, my eyes just glaze over as soon as it's like, well, yeah, all that stuff happened, but also in some reality that is somehow but not really the same reality, this other totally contradictory stuff happened, and you're not supposed to resolve them in your head. You're just supposed to remember that both happened. I just like completely stop paying attention. I'm like, oh, so like none of it matters is what my brain tells me, right? Like, and especially in a series where you're supposed to sort of investigate stuff. The idea, I don't know how we're supposed to know when you're in like a secret place you didn't know about, like, oh, the pygmy had this fortress the whole time, or his family did, versus when you're supposed to
Back up.
yeah, versus when you're supposed to think this is an alternative timeline. So
And run.
like, what context clues are supposed to tell us what is the same-ish reality where there's causality versus what is totally separate, you know? Or am I even thinking of it wrong because it's not totally separate? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, and this is where no, don't run out yet.
I was just getting the item.
Okay. And this is where, yeah, I would agree with Adam insofar as like, is it answering these sort of weird diegetic questions that no one asked, or is it, even maybe to his point, and which is worse, like, forcing the questions that no one asked, like, and down here.
I too am down here now.
Awesome. Jawsome.
Awesome.
So,
I'm sorry.
you
got me thinking about the street sharks, which, as we all should. My religion. Please continue.
Okay, hold on. I think actually we're clear of him now. So,
is that Madeir, by the way, who is just sniping at us?
yes.
Or is that okay? Yeah. Just for since we're not fighting him, just so the people have some context.
So if you followed through with Lap Story, he would be here, but I don't think he is. Excuse me.
He isn't because I didn't.
Man, it's early, and I'm trying to follow these thought trains through. So with regard to I mean, the game. So Dark Souls ostensibly always had a multiverse, right? Because in the first game, and I don't quite know how it works in Demon Souls, but like, that's sort of the in-game justification for why
for co-op,
you can summon phantoms.
You are the protagonist of your story, but there's an infinity of other chosen undead who are also the protagonists of their stories, and they're all kind of the same story, right? Demon Souls has a very similar conceit, for the record.
Yeah. So yeah, in that way, so a lot of this stuff doesn't bother me, and I mean, honestly, none of it bothers me, because to me, I kind of like, to your point, maybe that's why I kind of take it face value. Like, I've had to put up with, weird stuff in comics for years, especially with characters I really, enjoy. And, that's not to say that I'm putting up with it in this game, but I guess what I'm saying is that it's not so far-fetched for me.
Yeah, totally. Sure. Well, like, I guess to me, the, just to be explicit about it, when I see that there's an infinity of timelines in Dark Souls, but they all kind of terminate in the same place. To me, that's like a thematic point that's being made, right? There's all these different shards of reality, but they're not that different because this is how things play out, right? In Dark Souls,
that's right.
Oh boy, that's right, huh? Dark Souls 2 kind of brings that point home with the idea that, a functional infinity of kingdoms have risen and fallen, and they've all met the same fate, right? So it's like the way multiple timelines work. Moaning Knight, you say? The way multiple timelines work in these games.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry. This is another little aside. This is to the point of what I was saying earlier about how, in this area, whether it's primordial or whether it's the end of the world, you can kind of go either way. People have lost their names. This is this is Karim, who we met earlier in the game. Right outside the building leading to the Crucifixion Roads. But he's no longer Karim. He's just the Moaning Knight. Yeah. And there's probably an argument to be made one way or another that this was before he got his name or after he lost his name, especially with the nature of this game and what it means to go hollow.
Right.
And so, speaking of, oh God, multiverse stuff. I like that.
No, that is really cool. 'Cause it's kind of an inversion of like, I know you're an even bigger nerd for Arthurian stuff than I am, but in medieval romances, once you get your epithet, you have achieved your full identity.
Right.
The Knight of the Green Garter, isn't the Knight of the Green Garter until they do a Green Garter related thing, right? But it's like here it's almost the opposite, right? Like you've potentially lost identity, and that's more of a thing from Dark Souls 2, where all the major bosses did whatever they did and ended up wherever they ended up so long ago that no one remembers their names. They're just the Lost Sinner or the Rotten or whatever.
Exactly. And that's more of a thing in Dark Souls 2, actually. I would say.
Exactly.
Because there is a way in which in Dark Souls 1 and 3, as a follow through, like even after ages, like a lot of these figures are so important that we still know who they are. Oh, where are you?
I dropped down and then I lost you.
Wait.
Dogs, come on. I don't want to take you to dog jail. I want to hang out with you. You were saying?
Wait, I'm below you. How did...
You dropped down again. I just don't know which side you dropped off of. I'm assuming the other side. Yeah, you did.
Okay. Yeah. All right, here we go. I was like really confused. Yeah, this is I guess you could say a little bit of a puzzle area. Definitely a better puzzle area than Dark Souls 2.
It's good stuff. Yeah, we got to the Sanctum City, and Luce has not been a fan. Dogs. Shh. What is it with dogs and delivery people? Is it just because like they smell like so many other places? Like it's just such a common dog thing.
That was sort of my take. I mean, while it was happening and you were away, I didn't say this in the microphone, but I was also thinking like, it's funny no matter how much, they're bred and, how used to people they get, they still kind of go to that,
defend the pack kind of
real
thing.
Quick, a couple of things. We are going to have to pass Madeir. Oh God, fire. Oh, fire. But we don't have to fight him.
Okay.
You do have to fight him here, I think, if you want to set yourself up to do the boss fight proper.
Right.
But in this case, we just need to get by him.
We got a good clean look at him. That's all we need for the stream.
Yeah, and I mean, we can, like I said, we can even still talk about him. You just don't get a ton from fighting him, like a ton extra, I should say. But like you can see the abyss like growing on him.
Right.
And oh God, don't come out here.
Okay.
Okay.
All
right.
Real quick, there's a crystal lizard up schnya. With a lot of health, it must be said. Got him. Oh, I remember this statue real well. Let's talk about that in a sec, but first the wall. So yeah, just to finish the thought about multiverses, right? Like the way that stuff works in the games before this one, it's almost a subversion of multiverses. Like, okay, it's multi, but we really are telling a basically unified story because what's happening is what, right? Is fated to happen, is always going to happen because of human nature. Like it is the story. So the idea that then we do have these like totally alternate timelines where Gwyn is God with a capital G or Batman's a ninja or whatever, like, I don't have a problem with that. It's just that like you go back in time and you see that Artorias failed. That informs what you know about the future, right? Like every time someone mentions Artorias, it tinges what you think. You go to an alternate reality where Batman's a ninja, it's like, okay. Like it can't tell you anything about the main timeline because it has nothing to do with the main timeline. You know what I mean? Okay, so what the fuck? We are looking at Gwyn gifting humanity with what? Something. There's an item there, so maybe that's not a totally hypothetical question. We can't get to it from here. We have to drop down.
But also it's a crown.
Yeah, it is a crown.
Seems to be bestowing lordship.
Yeah. So is that just a human, or is that supposed to be the pygmy?
I mean, my interpretation was that it was always the pygmy, but also that it kind of doesn't matter. I mean, the title and the lore of the furtive pygmy suggests that like there wasn't anything particularly special about the one that found, the Dark Soul, the Lord Soul. And so I think that's, that also plays into what we'll see a little later, which is like, a kind of court
Mm-hmm.
of, royalty, I guess, as it were. Like, I don't know that they were necessarily, I mean, that's the thing, right? When we find, oh, by the way, there's a shortcut.
Oh,
When we find the, and also on the way back down, you can get that item, which I know what it is, but, gotta stop these streams when I'm brain dead first thing in the morning. So there's a door. I think it's going to be on the left.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. I'll come back up. This is a low stakes mistake.
And then this way. So Badir would be the other way, behind a illusory wall, incidentally. He is a hidden boss, to be sure.
All right, so this thing... Oh, is a ring that increases stamina. Specifically stamina regen. It's a ring I actually have. It's one of the rings that we made the choice I had from the beginning. I mean, that's just a really good item. That's part of why it's there. But is that a joke about Gwyn's ridiculous stamina regen in Dark Souls 1? Maybe a little. It's also a kind of a sly joke about the persistence of these games and their story. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I was gonna say.
But you're right. That the main thing is like he has the ring in the one hand, but in the other hand is a crown. So yeah, it's totally about bestowing some kind of lordship. So that would mean the pygmy had this kingdom by the grace of Gwyn, the same way Seath had the Grand Archives.
Exactly.
Or the Duke's Archives.
Yeah. And I mean, within the lore of Dark Souls, it's much more interesting. Oh, by the way, there's going to be, I think, dialogue when you approach this, so I'll shut up.
First, I will drink an Estus. If you want to heal, that'll still be nice. So on a first playthrough, we have no idea who the mistress would be.
Yes. Exactly. And to Adam's point, like, has there been any mention of her in anything, or is she sort of just a, I guess for lack of a better phrase, tacked on character?
One of the other things Adam mentioned that wasn't really a thing for me the first time I played through, but I totally get why it bugged him, is the actual no to certain fan theories, like the idea that Solaire is Gwyn's lost son as opposed to the Nameless King. I think there was a lot of speculation about Gwyn's wife, who we never really meet. So I think if anything, there are maybe context clues that that's who we're about to meet, and then we don't. Yeah, and then we don't. Right, something different happens, which we'll see maybe shortly, depending on how well this goes.
That bad phantom is definitely running right at us. I don't quite know. So I think if you don't have
this.
All right. Alrighty. So with regards to Gwyn's wife, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, just that, like, you might think, our mistress in all the Gwyn context, you might think that's who we're about to meet. And it is very much not. So, I could imagine that seeming like the game, I don't know, for all the answers it gives you, not giving you the answer you're looking for. Like, there's this weird, like, I could see a certain kind of fan of the series reading it as hostile, in the way Adam was talking about.
Yeah, no, I get that. All right, let's see how quickly we can kill this painting guardian.
These are the painting guardians from Dark Souls 1.
So callback not even to Dark Souls, correct me if I'm wrong, but to Demon Souls. The boss that will show up in just a moment is actually... Oh, nope. No one's online right now.
Which is also a callback to how it worked in Demon Souls. Yes, in Demon Souls there is a boss. This is a slight spoiler for those who are about to play Demon Souls for the first time, assuming it'll work the same way. But there's a level where you get to the top of a tower and you face the old monk, and what the old monk does is summon a player-like phantom thing to fight you, except it's not just player-like, it is a player, assuming it can match you with someone. Here end the spoilers. But so this is sort of that turned into a covenant.
Yes.
Because, well, okay, a little more spoiler, sorry. But in Demon Souls, it's very important to the lore that the old monk summons you unwillingly. So you don't opt in. I mean, like, you can manipulate it so that you're chosen, I believe. But, the intended experience is you're just playing the level, and all of a sudden you get, there's a loading screen, you're like, what the hell is happening? And then you're the boss. Which, if it can genuinely be a surprise for you, is pretty cool.
God, I'm so sorry, but it feels so good to be able to move while I'm healing.
That's something to be sorry about. I'm thinking more about the idea of multiverses and like what's different and what isn't. And in Bloodborne, it's thematic in the sense that we're dealing with like recurring dreams. You know what I mean? So it's like it is the same. Like the idea that certain things are the same every time is baked in until this one. Where, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Like, are there things to interpret in the other games that are alterna timelines in like deep ways where like major things happened differently? I don't think there are.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I think to your point, it's always about how, things may like.
I cannot get a lick in on this guy. Good God, what is that combo?
He's ain't no thing.
Hey, buddy. Yes,
you died.
I did.
It was that bad. Maybe we should switch next time, because I was doing pretty good with him. You take the Painting Guardian, and I'll take. And that's the other thing, right? So there's Painting Guardians in this area, which is another thing to unpack.
Well, yeah. So the Painting Guardians.
Real quick, now the quickest way to get back is the Ringing Inner Wall.
Yep.
You have that shortcut.
Gotcha. The painting guarded by the Painting Guardians in Dark Souls 1 is the painting containing the original painted world where the gods put everything they fear. So what does that mean in this context? I mean, I guess this is it's a little bit similar, right? In that.
Yeah, as far as like carrying, something thematic through, like the one thing I could think of is that Painting Guardian is a bit of a misnomer within the context of the world's lore. Like, they're called the Painting Guardians because in the first game, our context for them is that they are guarding the painting. But whatever their actual name or, creed, they probably just protect things that, Gwyn needed to, have locked up. Or,
right.
If we look at what they're guarding specifically, they guard his progeny, right? Like, they guard the painted world, which has Priscilla. You find the Painting Guardian set at the bottom of the tower where we meet Yorshka in this game, and now we are fighting them as they help Half-Light, who is protecting Filianor.
That's a good call.
So
yeah, they're almost like a royal guard for.
And that would be an interesting thing to talk to Adam about as well. Is like, would he resent the fact that like, well, maybe they were never the Painting Guardians? That's just what history called them to that point, because that was they guarded that painting in Anor Londo. But no one knew about the Ringed City, and I mean, finish the thought, but I was just gonna say, or that Yorshka, who was known to the Blue Knights, was otherwise, she didn't become the captain until the Blue Knights were gone.
Mm-hmm.
So, or Blue Sentinels, I'm sorry, were gone. So maybe she wasn't known prior to that.
Right. Yeah, and I guess to me that's the thing that trips me up and makes it not that like it means the whole thing is trash, but it makes it harder to get invested. Is it that no one knew about the Ringed City, or is it that it was a shard of reality where there was no Ringed City? And how different are those things from each other as a practical matter? That's where this gets a little bit looser than some of the other games in my book, which is again not a deal breaker.
Sure,
yeah. Oop.
He's a big boy.
He is a big boy.
Oh.
He's like the Russian folk thing, the Milistiner. Is that how you say it? The giant cop that some folks are currently making a game about. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that was going around.
No, but he's called the Adjudicator.
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
that his type is called the Adjudicators.
the image of justice as a giant is a thing across a bunch of cultures, but
All right, so you take the Painting Guardian. I'll see if I can. Oh no, Mr. Pickles, he's a human player. So there was someone online now. So this is going to be a lot harder.
I'm not. I mean, maybe and maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, he's already, because look, he's already throwing. Yep. You don't want us to heal.
I'm gonna finish off the Guardian.
Oof, oof.
Got the Guardian.
Oof. Ooh, he come to win. So the Guardian will come back. The Guardian will return in.
Painting Guardian 2. The Dark World.
Oh, yep, that's the thing. I'm gonna try and get a heal in here real quick if you could distract him.
Got him. Oh, Mr. Pickles. What? I totally roll caught you.
One advantage is he can't heal, but the Painting Guardian will heal him, so.
I'll work on the Guardian if you stay on Pickles.
All right. Wait, what? My trigger wasn't changing. That was weird. I need to use my poise through more.
Whoops. Totally sunlocked. Completely sunlocked. Okay. Wow.
Let's see if I can hit him with this, if possible. Oh! I couldn't get him. Bummer. Yeah, he's using his fancy moves now. Yeah, they're focused on you. Let's see. I should heal. I shouldn't risk it. Oh. Oh, he's a healer.
Oh, so he can heal.
He's a heal build. Yeah, he can't use Estus.
Pretty gross.
But no, I mean, this is the Covenant.
Yeah, so this is really interesting. So you were saying part of where the invasion thing can feel... What the fuck? Oh, he was just like sniping me with little projectiles. So yeah, like you were saying, the part of what doesn't always work for you with the invasion thing is the idea that you could be forestalling someone's progress on their main playthrough. So here's a Covenant that is 100% that, albeit at the very end of the game, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about that? I mean, like I don't think you've ever joined up and by the way, drop me some members. This is my last one.
Oh boy.
I mean, we've been talking and playing irresponsibly and whatever. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, like, how do you feel about that? Right? Is that, does this bug you, or does the fact that it's the very end of the game sort of make
the
it
fact
okay?
that it's the very end of the game to me makes it? I mean,
you're in by this point, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I do. So this is the other thing. So, I don't know that Adam. I think Adam would disagree with this point. I feel a little bad speaking for him, but I was just so excited to kind of get his take that I'm probably injecting him into the conversation a little more than I would otherwise. So I want to say he would disagree with me on this point, but I do think that there's a certain part of this game which, you know, your phrase was victory lap, that that I enjoy, because you get to kind of go back and experience some of the just the sort of stylistic and aesthetic choices, right, that were made in the series. Like, you know, I will, at least for the foreseeable future, never play Demon Souls because I don't have a PS3 and because I'm not interested in buying a PS5. So this kind of a surprise, like where, you know, it is like a little Covenant that, you know, you get to be the boss, is sort of a, in a lot of ways, especially when you consider that these games are built on, you know, their boss fights. It's fun because, you know, that's sort of the end. Oh God. Oh Lord.
It is the logical extension of the invasion mechanic in a certain sense.
Yeah, or, you know, even just like, you know, in terms of if you want to look at like RPGs and you know, character building, it's like, yeah, you eventually get to be the boss.
Right,
That's kind
right.
of a fun little seeing that thread line through. Now, as to it as a lore function, again, I'm at this point, you know, bought in. Like we were just talking about the Painting Guardians a minute ago, and you were talking about how it's harder for you to get invested in that. And to me, I find that actually more of a thing, like, because the game is so predicated on, like, you know, whose historical account do we believe, right? It's like we have all this information about the painting guardians, and it's kind of like to me like a fun reminder that like, you know, for whatever is written, still so much of it is left for interpretation.
No,
right?
totally.
Like,
No. To be clear, that's my shit. Where you can incorporate this understanding of the painting guardians into your understanding of them in Dark Souls 1. Right? I just think when we're talking about multiple timelines, then what you're quite specifically saying is don't do that. Do not try to incorporate your understanding of what happens in this text into the other text, because they're not the same sequence of events, right?
Right. I mean, yes and no, but or maybe yes, but also.
Right.
Faith build. God, okay, so yeah, I think the way to go for a lot of the people here now at this point is just I'm assuming he has heals because his name is Faith build.
Right.
So he can probably heal himself. Oh yeah, don't forget he has a special attack.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't forget.
Vis-a-vis being part of this church. Let me see if I can get the painting guardian with this real quick. Oh, I got killed. Darn it.
Lame. Well, give it a go.
That's a risky attack. I need to not be getting stun locked when it's happening.
So the one thing I do not enjoy about this fight is the painting guardian. I think that's nonsense. Like, the whole point is it's a duel, right? I mean, is that just so that you can't opt out of the duel by co-oping? Like it reforces the issue? Is that the idea? Because like
I think that would be that to me that's how I always understood it. You know.
Because if I'm remembering the old monk fight right, it is 1v1. That's like an important feature of it, you know.
Yeah, so I think to get that equivalent in this game, you would have to. Oh, there's several.
There's so many of them. Yeah, I
don't remember.
That just seems like, what am I supposed to do about that? Like,
yeah, and I was gonna say one to me makes total sense. Like, because otherwise this would have to be like a solo only boss, right? Like, which they could have done. But
yeah, I mean, exactly. If that was the intended experience, they could just do that. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is you don't enjoy the PvP aspect of this game as much.
I mean,
or in any game.
Cards on the table. Yeah, PvP is not super interesting to me because I mean, this is not to like defend my position like it's objectively right or whatever. Just to explain, right? It's effectively random in a way that I find really uncompelling. That's fine. The ring boy dropped one, so we're fine.
Okay, but I do need to remember to do that this time.
Yeah, so like if I'm playing, I don't know, Dark Souls, let's say, there could be a boss that's really hard, but it's really hard in a way that is basically fixed. You know what I mean? Like, there's obviously RNG for which move happens when and whatever. It's not like it's exactly the same thing every time, but I can bang my head against that wall and get better in a meaningful way. With a player, I'm never going to be as good as the best player of any game, right? At any point. And how good a player I'm matched against. Like, in theory, there's some kind of matchmaking, but at the end of the day, it's basically random, right? Like, I could get someone, thank you, who is way above or way below my level in some specific way, and I don't have any way of knowing. So it's just like the idea of getting good against people just doesn't interest me that much on a gut level. Because again, I'm never going to be top tier. I'm not going to be top 20% in any game, realistically. Like, probably even if I put in the work.
I like PvP, and I wouldn't even consider myself capable of being in, like, let's say top 50%.
Right.
Like, you got to put a lot of time and effort into. I mean, I guess I'm underestimating how good the younger generation of capital G gamers are, but those fast twitch muscle fibers and everything. But
yeah, you and I have lost those microseconds. We're old. My God, what has time done? My God. Yeah, but
so this is an interesting boss because it occurs to me as we're playing, because we've now run into two that have faith builds. Like, we're at a point when we played this the first time, I definitely enjoyed it. And I still do to an extent, but one thing that I'm realizing is just a result of the natural life cycle of the game is now if you're going to be in that covenant, you can go to, Fextra Life and just see what is the best way to, ponies.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to see a lot of build diversity. Like the fact that you lose access to your Estus is like, well, that's obviously a function of being a boss, which is fun. But then you can remove that by just having heal spells.
Yeah, this is something else for me. Is like where I'm a gadfly to our friends who are game designers and stuff. But I always think if there is an obvious best build, even for any given situation, that's sort of a failure of design. You know what I mean? Like
I would agree. Like I mean, especially from the duel perspective, I'm wondering if like this fight they should have just made it so that you couldn't use spells. Like it was just like it had to be weapons. Like even for us, like
right.
Oh no, church getting good. Well, this bodes well.
Oh my goodness! Oh, he's behind me.
He's not wearing armor. It's that classic Dark Souls thing.
That flex.
He's just wearing when the boss has like the most basic thing.
Prosaic.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm coming.
I guess we just divide and conquer because this is going to be a little crazy for us. I'm a-coming.
So I guess if these are players and they've getting good, then parrying is my only hope, right? Like there's no possibility of winning any other way.
I don't know that I would say that, but it just means it's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's using lightning, which makes me think he's a faith build, so more than likely.
Yeah, so that health bar means nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not fast enough. I'm not anything enough. I can't.
All right, I'm going to change my weapon so I can maybe do a little more chase down here.
Yeah,
Where you at? Oh.
Yeah, I should try parrying, I guess. Yeah, so like this is the thing,
he's
right?
a tryhard, yeah. He was using the Cell Sword Twin Blades.
Yeah. And I mean, again, like that's the game. I get it, but it's like, so that's this is the thing that makes PvP, or a thing that makes PvP vastly less interesting to me, is like the idea of the meta, right? Like if you have a game with build diversity, that to me seems like a vector for self-expression. The idea that there is an objectively best or even better way to do it. It's just like, well, then just why doesn't the game just make you do that? Like it isn't a puzzle, or rather it is a puzzle, but Reddit's already solved it for you. It's almost like a raid in an MMO, right? Like there's all these different possibilities, but someone smarter than you has already figured it out. So just copy paste what they said. Like, it's just not interesting, like,
yeah, I would say that unfortunately that just depends on the health of the community. Like,
yeah.
Because it's funny. I run into this a lot with Destiny, especially lately. So the long and short of it, for anyone who doesn't play Destiny, is there is the most useful item in the game as far as like improving gear is a rare item. But one of the ways they made it less rare is you have to do these little daily goals where you use specific weapons. So what I've fallen into is I just ignore the meta, which again I am playing the game incorrectly for all intents and purposes. I will go into the Crucible, which is the competitive PvP zone of the game, and I will just use whatever weapons I'm supposed to use to meet those requirements. And boy, howdy, do I get stomped on most of the time. But from the gameplay perspective, I feel like I have more fun because the stuff that I see people using, like I've used, and it's boring to just see that constantly. To your point,
right?
Like, yeah, like there's I guess some diversity, but everyone's already figured out what works better. And if your sole aim is to win, which I think disproportionately and unfortunately most competitive video game players probably enjoy winning more than like actually enjoying playing the game, you're going to use that stuff. And I mean, case in point, we keep running against people who have the builds, as it were. That's how you're going to win. You're in the Covenant, so you're supposed to win. And getting back to our earlier point about sort of the dissonance of intention in this game is like you're pitting players against each other, so one will progress, one will not, and that's just too bad, I guess.
Yeah, one will progress significantly, like this is blocking our whole playthrough. One will progress very marginally, So it's like it's very. I mean, they're grinding, right? Like that's what they're doing at this point. Yeah, the incentives are just a little bit harsh. I mean, you know, the games are supposed to be harsh. It's just it's a form of harshness that's not narratively interesting in any way, you know. Where's our boy?
Oh, wow. He's not here yet, so let's just kill this painting guardian. If it's taking this long, though, it probably means someone is connecting.
Mm-hmm.
I would find it hilarious, though, if it's like an error connection fails, so we just win.
I mean, you know, I'd take it.
We take those.
There we go.
Nope, it's just half-light. So
What? Ugh. My backstab got interrupted by the spikes. Okay, whatever. We'll take it because it's an NPC. Nice.
I backstabbed.
Half-light, fully backstabbed.
Gank him.
Oh, that's just half-light. Can heal real quick.
Same. I can't see if there's a painting guardian yet. Yep,
There is.
Couldn't interrupt.
Half-light, half-light, half-light. Okay.
All right, who's got painting guardian? Who's got half-light?
I got half-light. You're fine.
Okay. Wow.
So he's uninterruptible. That's
poison on these guys.
Yeah, it's crazy. What is this? Dark Souls 2?
Hey, I'll take it.
Got to get our licks in.
Painting guardians down.
Cool. Half-light is
now.
Tough to get close to.
I think this is a phase 2 thing. Maybe he gets more poise because we were getting him pretty good the first half. He had him in the first half. Not gonna lie.
I mean, but this is the thing, though, right? I guess I was saying two things that I suppose could be seen as contradictory. I was saying, on the one hand, I enjoy PvE because it's somewhat predictable and it turns on that part of my brain that can master an activity. But then I was also saying I hate that there's a meta and that everyone has the same build. So, like, in theory, I could just get good against everyone's identical builds in this game. It's still different because, you know, people act very different than computers. That's kind of a feature of people.
Right.
But yeah, to your point, like, there's a phase 1, phase 2 thing here, and messiness trying to act more like AI. Like,
I suppose,
just optimizing. Yeah.
That's rude.
What's up?
I don't even think I can get to you now. My Ember was restored, and as soon as it was restored, I got invaded.
Nah. Well, let me come to you. Where are you?
I'm at the ringed inner wall.
I'm coming.
But I've beaten this boss, so I don't think I can see your sign.
Oh, right. Yeah, there's no...
Saying Dark Souls 2.
Nah, ain't no small sign. The small
Well, you know
sign
what I
was a
can
good idea.
maybe do? Is, small sign. I got to give it up for small sign. I can maybe run to your area. Let me see.
Okay.
Depends if there's like a fog wall. I didn't beat this boss.
Well, then where do I drop my sign? Where are you?
That's maybe a little problem.
I mean,
the ring inner wall. It just means we're not going to finish this morning because we have 15 minutes. But it means maybe we can beat that boss on my file.
Yeah, my sign's down by the bonfire.
Okay, I'll be right there. And no one's shown up, and I haven't gotten an invasion message. So either I missed it, or
yeah, interesting.
It's still loading. Oh, now I can rest. So I don't know what that was.
Well, we got to do it in your world anyway, so let's do this thing.
I'm not seeing your sign, though, oddly enough.
You said you're enkindled.
I'm definitely enkindled. Oh, there it is. Schwiggity, schwiggity, schwank.
So yeah, I mean, like, two things. Number one, I am not saying it is wrong to enjoy PvP, obviously, and I'm also not saying it's wrong to want to like play at a really high competitive level, right? If you want to be a tournament level player, then more power to you, Mazel Tov, and there will certainly be a degree of meta to that. But it's like the people who are just playing and are playing as though they're optimizing for a tournament. To me, it creates boring experiences for me as a person just playing the game, a casual player, I suppose.
Me, the casual player.
But it's that catch-22 for designers where it's like, obviously you want to cater the design to the people who are super into playing the game, right? So like,
Oops.
I mean, you mentioned Destiny.
Oh.
Destiny's an interesting case where I feel like when they cater to those folks, it tends to make the game worse across the board.
Yeah.
Ends up being grindier, ends up being a little harsher in the PvP sense. We talked about those quests where you lose quest progress when you get killed in the Crucible. That's a thing.
Yeah, I think they stopped that, but that boy howdy, was that an oversight? Yeah, just open this up. So I don't see patches in mine either. So. All right. Yep.
I don't know. It seems pretty trifling. Oh yeah, I have very little Estus. Gotta remember that. What?
He did. It's so funny. I'm used to being able to swap out my weapons, but he's sure doing a lot of talking. Nice. Improve my chase down game here a little bit.
Whoop.
Oh, I guess that's not a good one.
Here comes.
Let's see what we got. We got Half-Light. Works for me.
Yeah, that'll do.
Oop.
I'll take it.
I have a shit ton of Estus. This is going well already.
That weapon art is just intense.
Which one? His?
Yeah, his.
Almost got this Painting Guardian down. And done.
Half-Light is in progress.
Yep. Here it comes. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Give me strength.
What? That was a backstab. Come on now. Come on now, game. Give me this. I need this.
I need it. Oh. Chill out there, Painting Guardian.
Oh. Yeah, the stun lock on these boys is just... It's quite a thing.
Oh, God. Oh, God. It's the Weeb sword. Look, man. NPC or not, this is not as bad as the trolling NPCs.
Oh, no.
Dude.
Ooh, sorry. I am very sorry. Oh, we had a run where it wasn't a person. That was the one. I'm so sorry.
Are you dead?
I'm dead.
Oh.
Fuck
you.
I know. I'm a child of privilege, and I'm used to having 10 million Estus.
Oh, God. Well, the stream can listen to my screams. All right. Well, I might be able to pull this off.
I believe in you.
Oh.
You're good at video games because you play PvP.
I mean, sometimes. Oh, what? That is crazy stun lock. Oh my God.
They get you? Or...
But the stun lock though. No. I'm just.
Yeah, it's intense.
Doing a lot of trading. Okay, I cannot. I should stop using that attack because I am not stunning him at all. Huh? How to handle this? How to handle it? Okay, there doesn't seem to be. I think actually maybe the Painting Guardians are proportional to Phantoms because there's no Painting Guardian now. Oh no. I went in for the Gambit and it didn't work. Oh no. Okay, this is the wrong weapon. Let's go with good old reliable here.
I'm enjoying this radio play.
It was then that he knew. He fucked up. Oh gosh. All right. Now I can maybe do this.
Very least, you're hanging in there. That's for damn sure.
Oh, I broke his poise. Do it again. No, do it again. Oh, Lord. Just all the magic, this one. Okay. Huh. Okay, it's very close. If I can actually get one more heal in, maybe? Let's see. It worked.
Damn, son.
I mean, he's not dead, but I was able to heal. So
No, that's a victory already.
Got him.
Nice.
Oof.
Well, do we want to call it there, or do we want to try this once before you have to go?
Fortunately, we should call it there.
All right. Weren't very dramatic on the stream, unfortunately, because I died like a jerk. But that means we can wrap this up next time.
Yes.
Which means maybe we can even get Adam here to offer.
I mean, his save file is gone, but he could at least.
He can't play with us, but he can talk. Yeah.
Alrighty. Any last minute thoughts?
That's a good question. I think. I mean, do you really quick? You have like a minute, so. Do you have any thoughts as we're approaching the end of this playthrough? Do you see this game in a new light in any way?
I actually have enjoyed being more critical of it. I kind of have always looked at it, especially because it was my first kind of Souls game proper, as I've always kind of looked at it with, I don't know what you'd call it, rose-colored lenses or, with rose-tinted glasses, whatever. I didn't have a lot of criticisms for it. I don't enjoy it any less, but I've enjoyed looking at it from more of a discourse perspective. Like I think there's a lot to be said for what works and what doesn't work. And I actually, the games that I really love tend to have a little bit of jank, whether that's in the actual coding and gameplay or whether that's in the, some of the storytelling conceits. But I don't think I definitely would say that I like being more aware of the stuff that doesn't work in this game, but it has not diminished my love of it and sort of its role in the series as, like you said, sort of a victory lap and a sort of a culmination of all these different things that they had been doing over the years, from Demon Souls to Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne and all that.
Yeah, and like this is one of those things that's such a simple, obviously true idea that it shouldn't have to be a moral people learn, but I feel like the internet has to relearn it every so often. Being like critical or analytic about things you enjoy doesn't mean enjoying them less. It just means adding a layer of understanding to a thing. I mean, like, it's possible you'll discover something that makes your enjoyment complicated, but more likely you'll just enjoy it on a different level as well. So yeah, always exactly. A good thing. So anyway, thank you. Thanks as always for tuning in, everybody. Check out the latest podcast episode if you haven't. Good conversation with Nils Deniken. Be able to announce the next guest soon. And I suppose next time we will end this strange journey so that we may begin another stranger yet.